Have you ever pondered the ethical concerns surrounding the seafood on your plate? It's a question that might seem out of the blue, but it's one that's increasingly relevant in our modern world. Today's conversation is about something that affects us all, whether we're seafood lovers, occasional fish eaters, or even strict vegetarians. We're going to explore the ethical concerns that arise from the consumption of certain seafood species. Our oceans, rivers, and lakes are teeming with a diverse array of life. From the smallest shrimp to the largest blue whale, each creature plays a vital role in maintaining the balance of our aquatic ecosystems. However, our desire for seafood has led to practices that raise serious ethical questions. Firstly, there's the issue of overfishing. This is when we harvest fish from the ocean at a rate faster than they can reproduce. This not only threatens the survival of the species we're targeting, but it can also upset the delicate balance of marine ecosystems. Next, we have bycatch. This term refers to the unintended capture of non-target species during fishing. Picture this. For every pound of shrimp caught, up to 10 pounds of other marine life can be discarded as bycatch. This can include sea turtles, dolphins, and even juvenile fish of the species we're aiming to catch. Lastly, we have the impact on local communities. Many coastal communities around the world depend on fishing for their livelihood. Overfishing and bycatch can deplete their resources, threatening their survival and way of life. Now, this is not about pointing fingers or assigning blame. It's about shedding light on a complex issue that needs our attention. It's about understanding the hidden costs of our choices and acknowledging that every bite we take has a ripple effect. As we delve deeper into these issues, you might find yourself questioning your seafood consumption habits. But don't worry, our aim is not to make you feel guilty, but to empower you with knowledge. Because with knowledge comes the power to make informed decisions, and perhaps to become a part of the solution. Did you know that overfishing is driving many fish species to the brink of extinction? Overfishing, the act of catching fish from the sea at rates too high for species to replenish, has been a growing concern over the years. It's a global issue that's having a profound impact on our ocean's biodiversity. The numbers are staggering. According to the United Nations, 3/4 of the world's fisheries are exploited or depleted. Bluefin tuna, Atlantic cod, and orange roughy are just a few of the species most affected by this practice. The bluefin tuna, a species that can live up to 40 years, is now critically endangered due to overfishing. The Atlantic cod, once abundant in the North Atlantic, has seen its numbers dwindle significantly. And the orange roughy, a deep-sea fish that can live to be 150 years old, is being fished faster than it can reproduce. This overfishing is most prevalent in regions like the Mediterranean Sea, the Gulf of Thailand, and the South China Sea. It's here that we see the most significant decline in fish populations, but the problem stretches far beyond these regions, impacting the entire global marine ecosystem. And it's not just about the fish. Overfishing disrupts the balance of life in the ocean, leading to critical changes in marine biodiversity. With the removal of top predators, smaller species that would otherwise be kept in check can proliferate and take over, causing what scientists call a trophic cascade. This in turn can lead to an imbalance in the ecosystem, affecting everything from the smallest plankton to the largest whales. So, what's at stake here isn't simply the loss of a few fish species. It's the potential devastation of entire marine ecosystems, the effects of which could reverberate through our planet's health and our own survival. As we continue to pull fish from our oceans at unsustainable rates, we're not just threatening these aquatic creatures. We are, in essence, disturbing a delicate balance that has been billions of years in the making. Overfishing not only threatens fish populations, but it also disrupts the balance of our marine ecosystems. When you enjoy your seafood meal, do you ever consider the unintended victims of the fishing industry? This question brings us to the often overlooked issue of bycatch. But what is bycatch, you may ask? Imagine casting a wide net with the intention to catch a specific type of fish. However, along with your target, you also end up capturing other marine species that were not intended to be caught. These unintended catches, often discarded back into the sea, either dead or dying, are known as bycatch. The numbers are staggering. Each year, it's estimated that nearly 27 million tons of marine life are caught as bycatch. This includes several species of fish, sea turtles, seabirds, and even marine mammals like dolphins and seals. Unfortunately, this figure only represents the tip of the iceberg, as many instances of bycatch go unreported. Bycatch doesn't just impact individual animals, it can disrupt entire ecosystems. When key species are removed from the food chain, it can cause a domino effect, impacting other species and the overall health of the marine environment. For example, the accidental catching and discarding of young fish can lead to a decline in the population of a species, affecting the predators that rely on them for food. Moreover, bycatch can lead to the unintentional catching and killing of endangered species, pushing them even closer to extinction. This is especially true for creatures like sea turtles and certain species of sharks and rays, which are frequently caught in nets and longlines intended for other species. To put it into perspective, our seafood consumption doesn't only affect the species we wish to consume, but also a multitude of others we might not even be aware of. It's a ripple effect that touches all corners of the ocean, disrupting the delicate balance of marine biodiversity. Bycatch is a clear demonstration of how our seafood consumption can have far-reaching consequences on marine life. As we move forward, it's crucial to understand and address this hidden cost of our seafood meals. Have you ever thought about how your seafood consumption affects local communities around the globe? Let's delve into a world less explored and examine the ripple effects of our seafood choices. Overfishing and other unethical practices in the seafood industry can have a significant impact on local communities that rely on fishing for their livelihood. Imagine a picturesque coastal town where the rhythm of life has been dictated by the sea for generations. The community here relies heavily on fishing, not just for income, but also for sustenance. Now imagine that the once abundant sea begins to yield fewer and fewer fish due to overfishing by large commercial fishing operations. The livelihood of the entire community is threatened, as are the traditions and the way of life that have been passed down through generations. Let's take a real-world example. In the waters off West Africa, traditional fishing communities have been hit hard by foreign fleets overfishing their waters. The locals, who have fished these waters for centuries, are left with drastically reduced catches, pushing them further into poverty. In the Pacific Islands, local communities have reported a similar story. The high demand for tuna in international markets has led to overfishing, leaving local fishermen with dwindling stocks. This not only affects their livelihood, but also the food security of the entire region. But the impact goes beyond just the economic. The loss of a sustainable fish population can lead to a loss of cultural identity. In many of these communities, fishing is not just a job, it's a way of life, a tradition that binds the community together. When the fish disappear, so does a part of their cultural heritage. Moreover, overfishing often leads to environmental degradation, which further threatens these communities. Depleted fish stocks can disrupt the balance of marine ecosystems, leading to a loss of biodiversity and even impacting tourism, another vital source of income for many coastal communities. Our seafood choices can have a profound impact on people's lives far beyond the boundaries of our own communities. Let's remember, every bite we take is a vote for the kind of world we want to live in. So the next time you sit down to a seafood meal, consider the journey that it took to get to your plate. So, what can we do to ensure our seafood consumption is ethical? This question may have been lingering in your minds as we navigated through the murky waters of the seafood industry's ethical concerns. The first step is to choose sustainably sourced seafood. Look for labels or certifications on seafood products that indicate they are sourced from fisheries that consider both the health of the species and the ecosystems they inhabit. These labels may include the Marine Stewardship Council's Bluefish label or the Aquaculture Stewardship Council's certification. Choosing these products supports practices that help maintain the balance of our ocean ecosystems. But choosing sustainable seafood is just the tip of the iceberg. Reducing our seafood consumption is another key step in the right direction. The global demand for seafood has skyrocketed over the past few decades, leading to overfishing and a decline in marine biodiversity. By consciously reducing our seafood consumption, we can help alleviate the pressure on our oceans and give marine life a chance to recover. And let's not forget about our local fishing communities. These communities often rely on fishing for their livelihoods, and they typically employ more sustainable fishing practices compared to large-scale commercial operations. Supporting these communities by buying their catch directly or choosing restaurants and markets that source locally can make a significant difference. Moreover, spreading awareness about these issues is crucial. Share your knowledge about sustainable seafood and the impact of our choices on the oceans with friends, family, and your wider social network. The more people are aware, the more they can make informed decisions about their seafood consumption. Lastly, get involved in conservation efforts. Many organizations are doing incredible work to protect our oceans and marine life. Supporting these organizations either through donations or volunteering can make a real difference. By making conscious choices, we can enjoy our seafood while also respecting our oceans and their inhabitants. So let's dive into this challenge together and make waves in the world of sustainable seafood. Let's ensure that our love for seafood doesn't come at the expense of our ocean's health and the myriad of life it supports.